It says this stream is being broadcast live or something, what it just said. And you have to click OK or not. Basically, anything you say and will be held against you forever. Warning, you filthy animals. All right, I'm going to refresh Market Chameleon now, see if there's anything new. Anything popping now that it's after 9 a.m. Same batch. Maybe we could see with 100,000. Let's see. Oh no, pretty scraggly. No. Looks at PFE floating over 56. Well, I mean, yeah, it hit 50, even higher than that. SEAC with 4.7 million. Right order. GMTX, HYMCL, BFRI, GMTX, CFEI, JX, JZXN, and then AVCT with 7%. I'll put that down at the bottom here. Okay, we got 23 minutes until the market opens. Oh, what's this? Okay, so, well, I'm going to start the market overview in about 6 minutes. Let's keep looking at these momentum stocks this morning. Make sure we got everything we want to get up here. Anybody else know anything else moving this morning? I've already looked through my screeners. I'll take a quick look by market cap. Lilly, LLY, up almost 5%. TNDM, 6.5% on no news. Barely any prints. ESSC, I already looked at it. Yeah. BIR, you got to capitalize your letters there. It's kind of hard for me to see. Do that again. Not sure if I'm reading that right. Oh, I see it now too. It's actually listed here. VIR, yeah, up about 6%. Yeah, Jay, it's there. BFRI for sure. There it is. Jay, I've got some answers back from the programmer community, but still not the solution yet, but making progress. People say it can be done, but then the solutions they're giving me are not, they wouldn't work. They wouldn't work. So we're getting there. Just got to get people to tell us. VIR is rallying 4.3% in the pre-market, putting it in a position to rise for a fifth straight day. The drug maker announced further data showing that its COVID-19 antibody therapy developed in partnership with variant. Good. Good. Well, we've got that set up here. Let me put the on that. CCMP is going to be acquired, so it's up at the acquisition price. Nothing special there. SLI and Frey on low volume, but up around 7%. SLI. Good. Frey. It's going to be a pretty mild morning, I think, and that's it. We're down to the 1 billion mark already. CFVI and everything else that we've already. Now, I'm sure a lot of people are taking a vacation on the market today. Michael J is trying to get. We're talking about mining. Michael Brewington, mining. Michael's like, okay, that's definitely not what I was thinking. Yeah. Low took a dump in after hours. Yeah, Roblox is down. I mean, there are definitely things down, and you do want to be finding stocks to have in your portfolio, your swing portfolio, for short to balance out longs when the market is like this. Yeah, why, Steven? You like to watch it over there better? Inviting friends. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, going live in about 2 minutes. Yeah. And use picture in picture. Oh, interesting. Cool. Good morning, Scott. All right. First time at the grown up table. All right. Oh, all right. And let me get a label on that bond. Good to get in for a day trade today, says I don't care. Worst bull trap, downward halt. What were you talking about there, Brianne? Was that yesterday? Good morning, everybody. Ready to eat. Yes. Ah, thank you. Nice shirt. Love SpaceX and Elon Musk. And I live and have a membership to the NASA Space Center nearby, so I like going over there and checking out them rockets and yes and stuff. Welcome everybody. Welcome in. JP Morgan. What JPM? Is JP Morgan JPM? I think so. What about them? Yeah, let me know what about them. They're currently a little undervalued. They're under Graham's number, making it a good buy in Buffett's and Warren Buffett's term. Warren Buffett's terms. Yeah, definitely. Another run of GRTX this morning? I don't know, maybe, but BFRI seems to be activating a little bit more than even that. No, you really can't see the Starship launches from here, but and they're even if you were in Houston, where NASA is, you couldn't see it because it's still quite a ways much further south. Texas is huge. It's like it's even bigger than they probably draw it on the maps. It's just so big. It takes like 13 hours to go from one end to the other, and then another 13 hours to go from the top to the bottom. It's so huge. And the horizon, in case you didn't know, this is kind of a cool fact. The horizon rolls over the Earth, at 30 miles. So, yeah, there's no way we can see that. Although we have seen like Starlink satellites go by. Yeah, well, I don't know about buying more here, Miller, of JP Morgan. You might as well save that money for diversification or hedging. Because JP Morgan looks a bit topped out. It could be a while till it like revs up again and shoots off, but like for now, it is a good buy. I just, to wait to see if there's any kind of breakdown because it's not good. Let's put it this way: it's not going anywhere right now. Yeah, bigger than on the maps. Yeah. Funny. Oh, you're down 6%. Oh, yeah, don't worry about it. Especially if you're holding. All right, so hello everybody on TikTok and YouTube, Twitch, Periscope, Twitter, Zoom, Discord. Welcome to the stream. Today, Wednesday, there will be a Fed meeting. There will be a Fed presentation at 2:30 Eastern Time, and notes being released at 2 Eastern Time. Until those moments come, it is very likely that the market is going to kind of just tread lightly and meander and hold and freeze down. Especially, you'll see it. It's really an amazing thing. About an hour and a half before, certainly a half an hour before, but about an hour and a half before the Fed speaks, the market just like moves nowhere. Nothing moves. Everybody's trading. It gets just like gets all flat. Very interesting. And then once we start to get some information released, the market just starts going wild and trying to adjust to the new numbers. And this will be information we've been waiting for a little while now. So the market needs this to release some of the tension and to regain some direction. It is not known what direction the market will take at that point, but at least at that point, there'll be a conviction of direction. There ought to be some sense of what direction the market should take. And that might take a full 24-hour cycle as analysts get on top of it, and then come back with their opinions later today, tonight, and tomorrow morning. But in general, the market we ought to see some direction finally being taken at the end of the market today, in the last hour and a half. There is the possibility that the Fed is going to announce that it could be pushing up tapering sooner than expected. And tapering, I remember in the beginning of my understanding of all these economic factors in the stock market and stuff, when I heard the word tapering, I always thought it meant that they're going to control like the federal interest rates, and in a way that is what's going to happen, but that's not quite what tapering is. Tapering just means during economic reflation, after a crash like this, and the government starts to stimulate the economy by buying, like basically buying assets that are out there in the world, and that could be loans in the United States, and that could be business loans, and in the form of business loans, bonds. They start buying those up in order to inject money into good quality businesses that run things, and they commit to a certain amount, like $1 billion a month or whatever it is, and or way more. But when tapering starts, they start to trim those numbers over the course of, it could be, they start to dissolve the amount that they're going to that they've been stimulating the economy. They start to lessen that amount, right, to fight inflation, because they feel like basically it's over. They need to stop doing that because they've pushed things too high artificially. And right now things are really out of whack. They are so out of whack because we do not have human productivity at 2.25% GDP growth per year right now, which is the standard inflation, and yet we have real inflation happening because of all the effects of less. It's definitely complicated, and I haven't had enough coffee to explain it to you, so I can bring in all the information. I need to. Those neurons aren't activated right now, but inflation has gone out of control, and then tapering. They're going to start to trim the buying, the stimulation of the economy, basically. So the reason why I explain it like that is because you have to think about what's going to happen to the stock market, which has been on this incredible rise, right? When they start to ease up on those thrusters. There's a chance that it's going to cause the market to flatten, right, or slow. And there's a chance that the knowledge of that could happen could also cause smart money and investors across the board and retail investors to sell. So there could be a kind of flash crash kind of reaction that could domino depending on how the Fed puts this and how they start doing their tapering and when they say they're going to start. If they get too alarmist about this, it could really easily just set off the huge domino effect, and we could get a flash crash like from 100 years ago. The stock market crash 100 years ago started because somebody wanted to go sell their stocks. They read something in the paper that maybe some bad things were going to come up, so they went to the bank to sell their stocks, and the bank said, why would you want to sell that? That's not a good idea. You should hold your stocks. And they wouldn't let him have his stocks. He was trying to sell them, and they wouldn't let him have it. And so he went to the press with that information, and they published that night an article about that they would not let them take his money out, and the reason why he wanted to take his money out was for XYZ. The next morning was a huge panic. Everyone showed up at all the banks. They wanted to sell everything, and they couldn't and wouldn't cooperate, and the banks were shutting down. And that's what happens. You get this panic attacks, and a panic attack like that, it could happen. So we'll make money if that starts happening. By the way, we're gonna drive this machine the other way, and we'll make money on the downside, and we'll make a killing on that. We should be able to double our accounts on any kind of a flash crash situation like that. But anyway, watch out later today. Let's see what happens. That's what's ahead of us. It's very interesting. Yeah. I mean, you could get banks doing something not in compliant with government regulation simply because the bean counting of it shows that reacting like that will save them more money than the fines they'd have to pay if they remained in compliance. So, I mean, it's like some crazy stuff can happen when a crash starts happening. On what stock? I mean, we would probably grab bonds, and we would short SPY, and we would buy calls on the VIX, and grab gold, and you probably start to see crypto spike as well. So there's a whole bunch of things that you could go into at that point, and even more so. Some commodities might start spiking as well. All right, this morning, what we're looking at outside of that is that the market is sideways. Gold is sideways. Energy is sideways. Everything's at pretty much where it closed yesterday. Nobody wants to flinch, it's the great stare down, and the weapon's going to be taken out at 2:30 Eastern time, maybe even 2 o'clock when some of the notes get released. I did just now see a spike in rates. They went up 0.1%. So rates are looking like they're going up in anticipation of the market open, and that could put some pressure on tech. So tech may not necessarily run freely today, although I've said that before, and then the market just wants to do what it wants to do. The Fed meeting, Jerry, it's at 2:30 Eastern time, and then there'll be notes released at 2 o'clock. 30 minutes before that. So you'll start to see at 2 o'clock Eastern time, the market starting to release volatility and start taking direction. Up until then, it's going to really just narrow down, slow down, and almost freeze from 2 to 3 o'clock. Why does it affect tech first? So if rates are going up, and it looks like rates are going up even more as I speak, if debt rates go up, borrowing rates go up, that affects tech because their loans are variable rate loans. And even if they wanted more money, more debt to expand and grow their company, they'd have to take it out at a higher rate moving forward. And so the calculations are, if a company is 30 or 40% or 50% in debt in ratio to its assets, then the payments are going to get too high as the rates go up. So much so, if rates go from 1% to 1.5%, that's a huge proportional increase. And a company like Apple, which is over 30%, maybe over 35% in debt, it could mean so much as they'd have to cut 100,000 employees, get rid of a innovation wing, stop the development of such and such products, start to have to pick and choose, batten down the hatches, try to pay those bills. You don't want to go bankrupt. Apple never went into debt until Steve Jobs died, and then it looks like Tim Cook started to put Apple into debt, and now it's at almost max debt. It's not in a good situation. And Steve Jobs did not believe in that. He always believed in having huge cash reserves. And although Apple does have some, they're safe. But Facebook, for example, and Google, they have almost zero debt. So they're in a much better situation. But Apple, it could have to make difficult decisions in the future. So these are like companies that aren't preparing for hard times. Think of it that way. They're not preparing for hard times. Here we go. Market is open. All right, let's see if we can get something going here at the open. BFRI starting to come up and around. If we can get it over 720, then we can get in for 50 cents of risk on BFRI. BFRI for 50 cents of risk. If it breaks 720, it looks like it's coming up and around. That seems to be what's moving right now. VIR, we were talking about that earlier, just broke out. You could get in there for $1 of risk. VIR. All right, the market remaining sideways, a little bit ticking down just a tiny bit right now. And BFRI almost up and over the breaking point. Speaking of the devil, Apple is looking like it's going to break over 175 right now and run for about $1 of risk if you want to get in. Break over 175.75. There it goes. Apple for about $1 of risk if you want to get in. BFRI pulling back before breaking out of the 720 level. Apple with a big 50 cent pullback after breaking 175.75. Keep that $1 of risk. Your stop should be 174.30. I am using Thinkorswim. That's the name of the program that I use. Good morning. What are you drinking? Tea. The market is dropping a bit. Getting an accurate reading here on, there we go, on the VIX. Okay, and VIX has gone bearish divergence sooner than expected. Pfizer on fire with a huge move, what was that, about 50 cent move in one candle. Pretty big for Pfizer. The average true range in an entire day for Pfizer is about $2. Pfizer breaking out right now for about 40 cents of risk if you want to get into Pfizer for a potential run on the day. BFRI did not trigger. Apple did trigger, but watch your stops. 174.30 being your stop. Pulled back pretty hard and changed direction. The market dropping. Q's dropping hard. Industrials down but holding. And SPY halfway in the middle. All right, there it is. Here's the breakout on BFRI. Oh, it just touched 720. It did not break out. Watch your entries on BFRI. You want to hit 721. It has to break out. There it is. There's the break on BFRI, and it's hitting 737. You want to make sure you're taking 5 to 20% profits of your position underneath every 25-cent level. So the next level from here is pretty much 750. So around 740. 747, 746. You don't want to get too greedy. You want to take 20% of your position off on BFRI. It's holding the breakout at 721. That's a pretty good sign. Although now it is pulling back into the teens. Okay, good. All right, we're pushing back into the 720s again. Yeah, Elliot must be so happy. I mean, Elliot must be so happy on that Pfizer position. What did you guys say he had? Like 170 calls? That's insane. 177 calls. Wow. All right, BFRI now hitting 739, 740, 743, 745, 748, 749. All right, I hope you got your profit target out. That was your first profit target, 5 to 20% of your position out underneath 750. Next profit target, 775, underneath 775. And now you move half of your position up to break even for your stop. Apple coming up and around off of that bottom. So there is some hope on Apple. This could just be trading range today. The market just wants to establish a low and a high, and then it's just going to stick. It's just going to stick all day probably. There's no way anyone can make a move today without that information. It just doesn't make sense. So I do not think we're going to see any real move on the market. In other words, most moves are going to be fake right now. I am seeing the Dow start to make its move down, its downward move, its first downward leg down. And the Qs now came back up, so they're starting to establish potentially their range. And SPY is halfway in between. GRTX starting to show some promise. You had 400 calls on Pfizer? Wow. Wow, Mabrat has 110 calls. Woo. All right, we just broke over 750. We're at 762, 765 on BFRI. AVCT, yeah, if AVCT can break 145, that looks pretty good. Maybe even 140, and it's right there now. So AVCT, if it can break 140, you can get in for 15 cents of risk. That's an under $3 stock. Yeah, that's in your favor, Connor. Well, sometimes there can be a stock reaction in the opposite direction of where it might naturally go. But yeah, that should be in your favor, Connor. All right, the Dow just went below yesterday's low. So that's some bearish quality on Dow, on the industrials. Every sector, no, not every sector. I was going to say every sector is down, but no. Tech is up and holding. Communications are down and trending down. Consumer discretionary moving up, which makes no sense. Utilities up, now down. Same thing on staples. Financials down along with the Dow, which also makes no sense since rates are up. Industrials down, base materials down, energy down. Looks like Halloween, like vampire blood drips. But again, I think that this is just going to establish a range. And, if it's downside orientated, so be it. All right, we hit 775 on BFRI. You should have gotten 5 to 20% out. Second profit target right there. If you missed it, then day trading's not for you. Not right now. You need to switch over to a paper trading account. You need to get practiced up. You need to stay a fly in the wall in our trading group. But these moments when you're supposed to be taking your profits, very important. Which app do I recommend to trade on? Webull. Here's my link. If you use my link, then you can get a bonus. You can get bonus stocks when you sign up, and I'll get bonus stocks too. We'll both get bonus stocks. I recommend Webull for starting out, but eventually, When you're ready to go pro, think or swim. All right, we have word ENSC is going crazy, but how about VIR? That's going looking pretty good. There we go. Jason just mentioned it. Yeah. All right, BFRI not holding, and that's the importance of taking your profits. And by the way, that's 2 profit targets. So now you move your stop to break even your entire position. We're entering when they break a certain level. The question is, when are you entering these positions? The day before, start of the day? When are you entering these? I am calling out a number. Like, for instance, on BFRI, I said if it breaks 720, you can get in for 50 cents of risk. And so that means if this price breaks 720, so 721, you can enter. BFRI pulling back to the 720s now. That could be it over there. And the moves on ENSC are in a very low volume, so we won't be touching that. Hey, Nick, thanks. Nikki or Nick? All right, now SPY and the Dow definitely taking some moving downward. They haven't quite found their bottom yet. Qs found their bottom at the open, moved all the way back up to the top, and are now in the middle of their range. CFVI, total crap out. Just red vampire drips. All right, there's the breakout of $1.40 on AVCT. So $1.40 entry on AVCT for 15 cents of risk per share to the stop of 125. If you guys over on TikTok are interested in checking out our trading community and joining it, the link is in my bio. All right, BFRI trying to retrace through that big pullback candle. Already a failure, though, in my opinion. That big red pullback candle was pretty strong. It was the strongest candle of the day. It was not. It was stronger than the rally candles. Do I think CFEI could be more long term depending on the Trump partnership? Sure. But just make sure you get in at a good price if you're going to try and invest in that and take that risk. You're late. Not a lot of moving today. Yeah, yeah. GRTX actually starting to make some moves now. If GRTX can get above 345, I like it. 345. So if GRTX breaks 345, you can get in for about 40 cents of risk. BFRI trying to hold the 740 level. AVCT is running. The entry was at $1.40. Go ahead and take profits every 5 cents on that. 5 to 20% profits every 5 cents. Somebody says it's a stay in bed kind of day. It kind of truly is, like the way the weather is today. The industrial's still trying to find their bottom. That's probably going to tug tech down because the move is large on industrials. Well, Tesla's up and pulling back now about 50%. Very difficult to try and pick a direction on anything today. Here we go. BFRI about to break 775, 768, 769. Can it get up into the 770? 770, 771, 760s, 760, 771 again, 73, 74, 75, 79. All right, we hit 779. Will it hold and follow through? No, we're back into the 60s. We just were here and then we just broke out. So which is it, right? So logically, this means failure. So if you can kind of read those numbers that way, you can kind of get a sense of what's going on there. It looks like the battle to go further is failing. There's not enough demand. Let's see what happens. Perhaps the float is too low. What's the float on BFRI? I think it's like 15 million. Well, we've traded 23 million shares already. So the problem here could be that there's not enough shares to be bought. And that everyone's just playing patty cake now. They're like, here, I'll give this to you for this price. And then they buy it from them, right? And then they're like, I'll give it to you for this price. And you're like, oh, sure, okay, because I think it'll even go higher. So then they buy it from them. And then the other guy goes, but I have no, can I buy your share back for a higher price? Oh, okay, sure, I'll get that for that price. And it's just patty cake all the way up. Because there's no shares available, so they're just passing it back and forth to each other, and that's what happens on these. And you're going to probably see some pretty nasty rug pull type moments in those situations. You don't know what any of this means. Numbers everywhere. It's money. We're translating everything we ever learned in school about numbers into money. So we're looking at GTRX, BFRI. Let's see if it can pick up the demand and make it over 780. It's fighting for it. It's trying. Do I have any idea why Webull wouldn't allow you to purchase HYMCL? No. But ask them. No, we don't want to look for a high float. I mean, 5 million to 15 million is fine, but you do get some funny dynamics when this starts happening. When you have the float rotating more than once in one day, the entire float. It does become just day traders handing shares back and forth to each other. The only real demand comes from anyone who's intending to hold for a long time. So you're kind of doing a 3-point trading, 2 day traders and one investor in the middle. And the investor says, well, I want a piece of that. And the other 2 guys are like, and they're like, all right, here you go. And they work it out. You can have half of mine. No, but we're looking for, low floats. A good float level is 5 million up to 50 million. It really does depend. Super low floats can be problematic. It depends on the price range they're at, but it can be too easy to just sop up all the shares. I don't know methods. Just take a chance, man. Take a chance or don't. Make a decision. Gabby says, Evan, I feel like I know what answer you're going to give. But if I've been bag holding a few different positions now for a while that just aren't getting back to break even, how long is too long of a hold? Well, Gabby, like, SPY, the S&P 500, you can invest in that, SPY or VOO, something like that. And it's returning 23% per year. 23% per year right now. So if your holds aren't looking to beat that, then why are you in those other things, right? I mean, why does anybody take a risk on the stock market unless they can get a better return than a risk in something else that's more guaranteed, right? So if you're not getting a return, You might need to you need to start working on getting a return. If your capital's not making you money, you're going backwards. You're losing the fight, especially with inflation on us. Even just holding cash right now turns cash worthless. Like if you put $100 under your pillow, and yesterday you could buy a box of cereal for $4, and today now you have to pay $7. Your money's worth $3 less. Well, yeah, I don't think I like any of those. What is that sound? I always get that really cool, weird sound, and I think it's trade station giving me an alert. Okay, that's an old alert. Sounds like a dream of genie. You say that every time, Tony, but I don't know. I don't know if I hear that, but I hear what you mean. I don't know if that's in there. You guys over on TikTok, if you'd like to check out our trading community, just go check it out. Just click the link over in my bio profile. There's a website link there. It's a primetimetradinggroup.com. Pfizer just broke again to the upside and hit 56.84. And VIR continues to run, and you should be taking 5 to 20% profits on that VIR underneath every dollar level. That's the target points for stocks over $20 and under. I forget what we had that set to, 500. You've been holding AMD for a little while on a swing. Any thoughts on AMD? Yeah, the other day I was analyzing AMD. Let me take another look at it. Seems to be progressing nicely. I'd want to see a longer consolidation before I got back in. BFRI coming up and around. There it goes, 779 breakout could potentially be happening any second here. In my opinion, the momentum is fading on BFRI. Can you feel that? Especially those of you who are in it, you probably can feel that. I can see it on the chart. I mean, like last rally was, 4 strong green bars. The second one that we just went through was only 2. And now this one right now, which looked like it was going to try and break the high, isn't even happening. We can call that a failure test breakdown in just a moment here, potentially. We got 50 seconds left on this candle. Could be failing out. Yeah, okay. All right, 15 seconds left on this 2-minute candle on BFRI. So we can get our decision in on it. Okay, so if we break 7.5, that's going to be a breakdown. 7.5 would be an all-out exit. Failure to retest breakdown at 7.5. So be watching it very carefully. If we happen to push up and over 779, then maybe we'll be continuing. Let's check out NXTD. BFI is over here on the right. It says BFRI. See? Is NXTD halted, Nikki? It looks like NXTD just won a government contract. Okay, Nikki, next time please say that. Breakout on BFRI 779, hit 789. Your next and third profit target. That's a fail. 7.5. Knew that was going to come. 7.5 exit. Felt that was going to come. 7.5. That's your exit. Good trade. All done. Stop hit on Plin. All right. Thanks for letting everyone know. Plin stop has hit. But wasn't that many days ago? Your stop should be break even, I think. You shouldn't have lost any money. I don't think. Well, it depends on if it's just been going down and down. Do you read there? What are you saying? What do you think about Bitcoin bear market? Well, it's not really in a bear market, actually. It's just short-term bearish. CFVI is totally crapped out. Nothing going on there. It had something good going for it, and we would have gotten in if we had a confirmed follow-through of some kind, but we did not. It just crapped out from the market open. Okay, the industrials found their first bottom. That could be the bottom of the entire trading range there on industrials. Do I look at level 2? Yes. But only when we're day trading a momentum stock like BFRI. I'm looking at it right now. 736, 740. Okay, and NXTD is out of the halt. They won a government contract, and if you want to try and trade that, you got to get in for about 40 cents of risk. It's at $3.30. If it's not going to follow through, don't do it. Don't get in if it's not going up. Like right now, it's not going up. I guess you could say I'm testing you. All right, and it's pulling back. Ideally, maybe we can get a pattern out of this, so we can get a little breakout with a risk unit. Pfizer, just about hitting 57 now. Pfizer, just about hitting 57. If you're in the Pfizer day trade, not the swing trades. If you're in the Pfizer day trade we called out this morning, go ahead and roll those Pfizer options if that's what you got, or take some profits about every 50-cent level on Pfizer. To roll your profits out on Pfizer, however much it went up, which it looks to be about $1 from your entry. Once Pfizer's up about $1 from your entry, or whatever the distance to next strike is, 50 cents from your entry to the next strike, just roll up to the next strike. That does count as a day trade, yes. NXTD entry. So it looks like if it can break 333, you can get in for 35 cents of risk. Looks like it might be just a one-off spike and fade kind of informational event, though. So on VIR, you should have taken, I don't know, 1, 2, 3, 4 profit points, and you should be moved your stopped up to break even. Currently, the all-out stop on VIR is being hit. So exit VIR. I'd be surprised if you make, 1R today. Or Pfizer might be able to get it for you. Pfizer hitting 57.12 right now. Yeah, CFVI is definitely on its knees. ISIG pop. We're getting word of an ISIG pop on ISIG. PFV Pfizer now hitting 57.21. You are welcome. Pfizer hitting 57.41 now. Getting close to the top of the daily range, which would be 58. So we're 60 cents away from the top of the typical potential range on Pfizer. And there's the breakout on NXTD at 333 for 35 cents a risk, and it's hitting 341. Doesn't look like a solid follow through, but let's see if it can build up some more momentum. Really? It's already Autobots? My voice is weird? Robo. Oh, yeah. That's the soonest it's ever went that way. This is the sound of God. Have you been playing with yourself again? What movie is that, guys? How did you know? Hint. It's a Val Kilmer movie. Probably one of the really obscure ones you've never seen. Okay, I'll give it away. Final hint on the movie that I just did a little quote from. I'm going to give it away now. In the finale scene, it involves a massive amount of popcorn and a house. Oh, there we go. Somebody got it. There you go. Real genius. All right, we're getting some bottoming signs on the market across all indications on the market. So this could be the bottom of the range that it wants to range around and play with all day. It's just going to be pawing at your money all day. I don't recommend you try and grab something for direction other than perhaps Pfizer. because everything else is probably going to be in a holding pattern. What is a pocket option? Somebody says, "Do I do pocket options?" That's so cool because like in real estate, they have something called a pocket listing. What's a pocket option? Is that when I can just, as a matter of fact, I do happen to have a pocket option. I have a pocket option on Pfizer that I could sell you. No, I don't have a pocket. I don't trade pocket options. I'm not sure what that is. No, I haven't seen Val Kilmer in The Felon. No, I'm not familiar with that. All right, so the BFRI trade is over. NXTD has just about completely crapped out. Once it breaks three, that trade is over. The market has bottomed, and we've got some movement on AVCT. So hopefully, you guys are making money on AVCT, taking 5 to 20% profits every 5 cents over there. Current stop is 135. So there goes NXTD crapping out. That's the end on NXTD. You say you have 1,000. What should you buy? Probably my video lessons. Not that they cost $1,000. Only costs about the price of one Starbucks coffee. Here, I'll give you the link if you want to learn more about trading and what to do with $1,000. You know, you want to learn. I do have some video lessons there for you. Over 100 video lessons. Learn all about how to make money on the market. But nothing's guaranteed. I'm not gonna say that you're gonna be able to do it. It's definitely gonna be up to you. Because you know what the most important strategy is in trading? What is it, guys? What's the most important strategy in trading for as a winning trader? If you ever want to get to become a winning trader, what's the most important quote unquote strategy? It's not really a strategy. Jackson's close. It starts with the same letter. There we go. Dondrell's got it. Discipline. Discipline. If you aren't a disciplined person, it's likely not going to work out for you. This requires so much self-control. Like levels of deepness of self-control. Yeah. Yeah. And then, you know, some of the guys here have some of the other more important things to think about. But RJ says capital preservation. Of course, that's important. And then your goal for your first year of trading is minimizing losses. So that presumes right there that your first year of trading is going to be just filled with losses and probably a loss, a total of a loss. Your first year of trading, that's what, you know, minimizing losses is about all you can focus on learning. There's only so much you can do in every day, and there's only like 250 trading days per year. And there's just far more things to learn about trading than 250 things. You know, there's thousands and they're gradated and you have to be able to control them. As with anything, things take time. These things take time. And if you think there's a get rich quick, you know, technique out there, well, there is, but just for a few months, you know, and then you're broke. So, so there are, but unless you're already a master, then you won't know what to do once you did it, and you will lose it all. It's a 99.9% certainty. And no master would ever do that. So get rich quick is how you go broke. So anyone who does get rich quick, you know, that's why I always say, don't ever, ever, ever trust anyone who hasn't lost at least one fortune in their life. At least once, you know? they'll know. It doesn't matter if you got a Lambo and you're 15 years old and you're on top of the world. We want to know what happened after you lost it all. How did you get back again? Without daddy helping you. Anyway, you guys, I'm going to tune out in a second here. But here again, you can join our trading group at primetimetradinggroup.com. It's free to come check it out. primetimetradinggroup.com. The link is also in my bio, so you can just boom, bam, just go right in there. And thank you for watching. And here, I'll drop the link again to my video lessons if you want to learn more about trading. Here's that link. You can just go to Google and type Market Mastery. And